Glycolysis is a pretty complex biological process. And just by looking at this image of the glycolysis process, we can see that there's a lot that's going on. This video will help you understand the basics like what glycolysis is, where it happens, the 10 steps and key enzymes, and what the end products are. Let's get started. Glycolysis is a series of enzyme controlled chemical reactions that break down one molecule of glucose into two molecules of pyruvate. Glucose is a 6-carbon sugar and pyruvate is a 3-carbon molecule. During the process of glycolysis, energy is released and captured in the form of ATP and NADH. The entire process of glycolysis can be written in form of an equation. We call this the glycolysis equation. This equation has one glucose molecule plus two molecules of ADP plus two molecules of NAD ion plus two molecules of phosphate to produce two pyruvate plus two molecules of ATP plus two NADH, two molecules of hydrogen ion plus two molecules of water. The entire process of glycolysis happens in the cytoplasm of the cell, not in the mitochondria. And glycolysis does not require oxygen, so it can happen with or without oxygen. Glycolysis is important because it is the first step of cellular respiration. It provides a quick source of energy for the cell. It supplies pyruvate for other energy pathways, and it occurs in all cells, including red blood cells that lack mitochondria. During intense activities or low oxygen situations, glycolysis is still able to supply energy through anaerobic pathways. The entire process of glycolysis is divided into two main phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1, which is called the preparatory phase or the energy requiring phase, and phase 2, which is called the payoff phase. In phase 1, phosphorylation of glucose occurs followed by splitting. So the cell uses two ATP molecules to modify glucose so that it can be broken down later or split. Phase 2 is responsible for the generation of net ATP and NADH as well as hydrogen ion. The glucose carbon chain is split and energy is released. 4 ATP molecules are produced along with 2 NADH molecules and 2 pyruvate molecules. At the end, because the cell used 2 ATP molecules at the start but made 4 ATP molecules later, the net gain is 2 ATP molecules. Glycolysis has 10 steps, and each of these phases have 5 steps each. So we have the first 5 steps in phase 1 and the last 5 steps in phase 2. You can also call these stages. So let's look at the 10 steps of glycolysis in relation to the two phases. So phase 1, as the preparatory phase. Step 1, phosphorylation of glucose. In step 1, glucose is phosphorylated to form glucose 6-phosphate. We're going to refer to this as G6P by the enzyme glucokinase or hexokinase. In this step, 1 ATP is used for the phosphorylation of one glucose molecule. This step is also known as the flux generation step. The phosphorylated glucose molecule is trapped by the cell for further metabolism. The trapping happens because the cell membrane is not permeable to glucose 6-phosphate. This leads to step 2, the isomerization of glucose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate is converted into fructose 6-phosphate by the enzyme phosphohexose isomerase. When this happens, we can move to step 3, phosphorylation of fructose 6-phosphate. Fructose 6-phosphate is once again phosphorylated by the enzyme phosphofructokinase 1 to form fructose 1,6-biphosphate, and this consumes 1 ATP. This step is important and is regulated because it controls the speed of glycolysis. So you can say that it's a rate limiting step. Step 4, splitting of fructose 1,6 diphosphate. Fructose 1,6 diphosphate splits into two 3-carbon sugars, dihydroxyacetone phosphate, DHAP, and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, G3P, with the help of the enzyme aldolase. Step 5, isomerization of dihydroacetone phosphate. DHAP is converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, that is G3P, by the enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. DHAP and G3P are isomers, but only G3P can proceed directly into the next step of glycolysis. DHAP quickly gets converted into G3P, so we'll have two molecules of G3P from now. So that's it for phase 1. We'll move to phase 2. So the first step of phase 2 is step 6, and that is oxidative phosphorylation of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, that is G3P. G3P is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate by the enzyme 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate kinase with the production of two NADH molecules. Step 7, the transfer of phosphate from 1,3-diphosphoglycerate to ADP. The enzyme phosphoglycerate kinase facilitates the transfer of a phosphate group from 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate to ADP. This transfer results in the production of two ATP molecules and three phosphoglycerate. This leads us to step 8, isomerization of 3-phosphoglycerate. 3-phosphoglycerate is converted into 2-phosphoglycerate by the enzyme phosphoglycerate mutase. Then step 9, dehydration of 2-phosphoglycerate. Here, 2-phosphoglycerate is dehydrated by the action of enolase, also known as phosphopyruvate hydratase, to phosphoenolpyruvate with loss of two molecules of water. Then finally, step 10, transfer of phosphate from phosphoenolpyruvate. In the final step of glycolysis, phosphoenolpyruvate, also known as PEP, is converted to pyruvate by the enzyme pyruvate kinase. During this reaction, PEP donates its phosphate group to ADP, producing ATP. The initial product, enolpyruvate, rapidly and non-enzymatically rearranges to the more stable keto form of pyruvate. So, the overall 10 steps of glycolysis can be written still using the glycolysis chemical equation. So, we still have glucose plus two molecules of NAD ion plus two molecules of ADP plus two molecules of phosphate to produce two pyruvate molecules, two NADH molecules, two molecules of ATP, two molecules of water, and two molecules of hydrogen ion. At the end of glycolysis, pyruvate can follow two paths, one path with oxygen and one path without oxygen. The path with oxygen is called aerobic respiration, and the one without oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. During aerobic respiration, pyruvate enters the mitochondria for further breakdown in the citric acid cycle, leading to much more energy production. In anaerobic respiration, the cell converts pyruvate into molecules like lactate so that glycolysis can continue by regenerating NAD ion. Now, with this, we can confirm that glycolysis is indeed flexible and can still work whether there's oxygen present or not. So, let's do a quick summary. Glycolysis is the breakdown of glucose into pyruvate. It happens in the cytoplasm and it produces two net ATP molecules and two NADH molecules. It is the first step in cellular respiration and it can work with or without oxygen. To quickly remember all the intermediates and enzymes that are involved in glycolysis, you can pause this video to take a look at this mnemonic. This should help you quickly remember the enzymes as well as the steps and intermediates that are involved in glycolysis. So that is for the video on glycolysis. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already.